100% on me. That is my fault. They were coached terrible this week. When you get out coached, out schemed, that ain't the kid's fault. That's my fault. And we'll address it. We'll give them a better chance to be successful next week. They didn't overcome me. We weren't able to get off the field on third down the first period. We only stopped for one, and that was on the very last one on the first down. I think they were 9-9 before that. Made a couple plays in the second half. Couldn't make a play on the last field goal drive and then we got beat in coverage a couple times in the second half. The 2 touchdowns, I think Jack got beat on both of them. Got to be able to make that play in coverage. They made some plays. We made some plays in the second half. Made a couple of adjustments, but when you have to make adjustments and stuff you didn't practice, that's the coach. That's coaching. That's terrible coaching. That's on me.
Was lack of pressure up front really the catalyst maybe for
everything? We did not rush technical wise. We were not very good. We were trying to run around him, which allowed him to stand up in the pocket. And then we got panicky in the secondary and came out of coverage a couple times early. Not trusting those guys. We got to do a better job to design them some pass rushes because we're not beating anybody. So we got to give them a chance schematically. We had a couple opportunities. They did a good job of seeing some of our pressures upstairs, so we changed them in the second half. Our adjustments were good. The last drive, we let them complete the deep in route in cover 2 behind the second level guys. They did a good job with the play action. They got us twice on the fly sweep. When we saw them line up in the fly sweep opportunities the next 2 times, we had a defense that checked them out of it, but it's too late. They got us on the 26-yard to get us down there in position so that they could throw the ball over on the fade on the sideline. So got to make those adjustments quicker so you can see that stuff so that our kids have a chance. When you don't give them a chance, they can play their tails off, and it don't matter. This is on me.
So was it that they did some things that you hadn't seen previously on film, or what led to that?
They did a good job handling some of our games up front. Fought your tail off, Evan. Nice job. You guys did a nice job. Jaden, you did a great job tonight. We didn't help the offense out at all. I mean, an offense puts up 400 yards. Should we give up 470 yards? You're not going to win many games that way. When the offense puts over 400 yards, you should win every single game. The defense can't do that. They weren't doing anything. They weren't running any new plays. They did a good job schematically with some of our games. They were cutting us off on the front side, which a combination. We weren't getting off the ball as fast as we've been getting off the ball. And they had a good plan to stop that. When we made the adjustments at halftime, it was okay, but by that time we'd already given up freaking a ton of points. So as well as our offense was moving and as good as they were scoring the ball, that we should have. This is on me.
Are you trying to make more adjustments on the sideline in the first half than you have the first 3 games?
Yeah, the first 3 games we didn't have to. They couldn't move the ball. First drive of the game, they went down. We have a 3rd and 14. The second drive of the game, we have a 3rd and 14 that we don't execute a 5-man pressure. We get 2 guys to come wrong when we can't have assignment errors, but we got to be able to get them down for 3rd and 14. That's ridiculous. And that kind of changed the moment of the game. We gave them a 14-point lead. Give our credit to the offense for fighting our way back. They tied it up at 14. Then we give up another touchdown. They tied it up at 21, and then they hit the field goal before the half. We never could get over the hump. We were able to tie the game a few times, and then Jaden threw the interception. We get a 3-and-out after that, so that didn't have any impact in the game. They made more plays in that last drive than we did, and then we get blocked into that. We rough the holder and don't get the ball back to give Jaden a chance. You give Jaden a chance, who knows? He's pretty special in 40 seconds to go. The way they were moving the ball, Colorado did a nice job when they had an opportunity. When we got the ball back after the field goal, give them credit. They did a nice job on defense. They sacked him twice in that last series, and we had to burn a timeout. So we had to go for it when we burned the timeout, or we wouldn't have got the ball back. And we stop them. We're going to get the ball back with about 40 seconds to go if they make the field goal, and we rough the holder. So once again, that's on the coaches. This is 100% on Danny Gonzales, and I apologize. I mean, we got to give them a better chance to be successful.
You mentioned the importance of third downs earlier in the week, and then they started 5 of 5 on third downs, including the long one that you talked about. So is there something thematic about what's happening on third downs, or are they just all like different situations?
No, the problem with the third downs, the 3rd and 14, that's ridiculous, okay? The 3rd and 2s, most of those third downs in the first half, they were getting enough success on second down that 3rd and 2, you're going to have a very, I talked about it earlier, 3rd and 1 in the history of football is like 87% conversion rate. 3rd and 2, they have way too many options on whether they want to throw it, run it. So you can't stack the box, and if they're going to do that, you're going to play action, or they're going to throw it over the top of your head. We weren't good enough in coverage early on. I think we were trying to fill our way into it, so we didn't get a stop. When we made an adjustment in the second half, we played some zone coverage, and you struggled in zone. I probably should have played more zone instead of letting those guys pick us off in man coverage. I thought we'd cover them a little better than we did. We probably didn't prepare them right in practice for that either. So this ain't on the kids, this is on me.
Montez is such an experienced quarterback. How much of a difference did that make?
He did a pretty good job seeing where our stunts were coming from in the first half. They didn't in the second half. The last drive, they executed a couple throws, and then the scramble over there off of the fly motion sweep, and he scrambles out, and he's able to complete that ball. When they scramble out like that in the first half, we panicked because he was getting up the field, and we come out of coverage, and they get the touchdown. In the second half, we instead of locking on our guy, we kind of get lost over there. I'm not sure who it was. I'll have to see it on tape, but we get lost, and there comes a little separation. We covered him better, but there was a little separation. He was able to complete that ball for a first down. We got to get him in 3rd and longer situations to have a better chance to get off the field. 3rd and 14, doesn't matter. I mean, they got to overcome me if it's a bad call. 3rd and 14, they should never convert. And then we got to do a little bit better on the 3rd and shorts so that they're not 3rd and shorts, that they're 3rd and mediums and longer.
Did anything change when Chenault went out?
No. Shoot, didn't change for them. They were moving the ball with him in there, without him in there. That didn't matter. It was schematically, those other, Katie Nix and Tony Brown, those guys are elite enough that we couldn't put all of our marbles into stopping Chenault. I thought we would tackle Chenault a little better this year. He had the one long run on the fly sweep. I think that might have been where he tweaked his groin because he didn't come back after that. Once again, they did a good job. They cut the corner, they cracked the linebacker, and climbed all the way up to the safety. So when we made the adjustment in the second half, once again, a little too late. They couldn't run that anymore, but they got to overcome me. I screwed it up.
Why do you feel like the corners struggled in man coverage? Because it feels like athletically they should be able to hang with this.
We didn't play the ball very well. I think we gave up the 2 long touchdowns. The other ones, I don't think they trying to think of a ball. They completed a chase on ball, a ball on chase. We were in man coverage. They got about 9 yards. The one down here in zone in the 4th quarter, right before they kicked the field goal, he stopped. He made a nice play. I mean, the only 2 balls that they really completed on the corners were the ones on Jack, the touchdown, the 2 long touchdowns. He got beat at the line of scrimmage on the first one, and the second one, he was there. He just didn't play the ball. I mean, and that's what happened. I mean, they're good players too. You're going to beat the ball. We just got to make some of those plays in the second, on the edge. And like I said, it wasn't the corners. We weren't giving up big plays over the top. We gave up a couple long runs. We gave up the two fade shots. One where we come out of coverage, and then the 2 on that Jackson didn't play the ball. I mean, he might have got pushed off, he might not have. I mean, it doesn't matter. You got to just play the ball.
What's your biggest concern going into this?
Biggest concern I thought would be that we didn't prepare well enough because they thought they were better than they are, but that wasn't it. That was I thought they did a good job schematically with the games. By the time we adjusted, they'd already scored 21 points. You can do some of those adjustments in the first half between series, and I don't think we probably didn't coach it well enough on the sideline because we didn't get it adjusted quick enough. When we had the 15-minute break at halftime, they understood completely what we were trying to get to. But once again, when you have to adjust to something you haven't practiced during the week, that's not on them. That's on the coach. That's on me. And so we did a good job of teaching at halftime because we made those corrections. But by that time, the offense had bailed us out enough, and then we didn't make a play to get off the field before they were able to kick the field goal on the last drive.
Last question. When did you kind of realize that maybe you hadn't coached them on the adjustments you were trying to put into the game plan?
About the 3rd series when they went straight down the field and scored 3 touchdowns. The first series they go down in 9 plays, and we have a couple chances to get off the field. We just don't make some plays. They didn't do anything. Like I said, they didn't do anything in practice. On the second series, we have the 3rd and 15. We made the adjustment to how they were handling the box pressure. We get a tackle for loss. The second play, they get nothing. I mean, it's 3rd and 14, and then we've got a deal where it's kind of a delayed blitz. It looks like 3-man pressure. We end up with 5, and we get confused on who's supposed to cover the back and who's supposed to rush the quarterback, and we leave the back wide open in the flat. instead of one covering him and one covering the quarterback, and then they convert it. Then at that point we realized, okay, they found a way to cut off our games. We weren't firing off the ball as well, and so we made some of those adjustments to static the movement, and then they get one more drive, and then we get to the field goal. They get field goal before half, and then once we make the adjustments in the second half, they got a couple of big plays in the passing game, but it wasn't. They didn't run the ball for a whole lot. And Montez did a great job, accuracy, did a nice job seeing our coverages and threw the ball well.
Thank you, Coach.